GMetrix practice test 1, questions 9 through 16 for Adobe Premiere Pro. We're going to go ahead and get started with task number 9. And in typical fashion, we are starting with a question that is a little buggy, so we're going to jump right into it. For task number 9, it tells us to crop the top of the video clip by 5% and the bottom by 5% using the crop effect. We're going to go and click on our video clip in order to bring up its properties in the effects control panel. And if our effects control panel is not active, we can go up to Window at the top and select Effect Controls right here to make sure our panel is visible and active. We're going to use the scroll bar on the side to scroll down and see what we already have on here. Now, the part of this question that is a little bit bugged is that they have, in fact, already done this answer for us. So we can see that the crop effect has been applied. They're taking 5% off the top and 5% off the bottom. Well, what if this wasn't already on here? It's still important that we know the foundational skills in order to be able to solve this problem. I'm going to go ahead and take that crop effect off by clicking on the crop and then pressing delete on my keyboard to get rid of that crop. And you'll see that it no longer has that letterbox effect with the black bars at the top and bottom. We're going to go to Window, Effects, not Effect Controls, and we're going to search for crop in the search bar right here. So just typing in C-R-O-P to search for our crop effect. Then we're going to drag our crop effect onto the video clip and let go. We're going to scroll down on our panel here until we see top and bottom for our crop effect. For top, we're going to click on that blue number and type in 5. For the bottom, we're going to click on that blue number and type in 5. And that's going to add the crop effect with 5% for each of those settings. We're going to go ahead and select Next. And that is, in fact, correct. So very strange that they decided to just do that one for us. It is what it is. Hopefully we will be ready for that question once the certification rolls around. Task number 10, with the type tool, create a title layer that says Sweet. Change the font to Arial Regular and the size to 250. Give it a size 5 stroke and disable fill. Align the text to the bottom left and make the layer duration the same as the clip in the sequence. That's a lot of words. So we're going to have to take this kind of one step at a time here. First, it tells us to use the type tool. To activate our type tool, we're going to go to our tools panel. And if we don't see it, we can go to Window at the top, go down to Tools, and just click on that. And it's going to highlight where that is or make it visible if it's not currently visible. We can click on the type tool right here in order to activate it. And then we're going to just click on the center of our program monitor right here. Next, we're going to type in the word Sweet. And the spelling and capitalization and punctuation are all very, very, very important. It needs to match up exactly with what GMetrix says, or it will count your answer as wrong. So be very careful when you're typing in Sweet here. Next, it tells us to change the font to Arial Regular and the size to 250. The easiest way to do this is with the Essential Graphics panel. We'll go to Window at the top and select Essential Graphics. Now, it's kind of hard to see our screen here, so I'm going to put my mouse on the left-hand side until this icon appears, and we'll just click and drag this to the left so we can see our Essential Graphics panel a little easier. I'll click on the T, or double-click on the T next to the word Sweet in order to select our text, and then I'm going to need to change the font to Arial Regular. We do this by going to the text font right here. Currently active is Myriad Pro, but yours might be different. And we're going to just search for Arial, A-R-I-A-L, and then we're going to go to Arial Regular right here. You'll change that, or you'll see that changes the way that the letters look. And then we need to change the font size. We do that by clicking on this 100 right here and typing in 250, then pressing Enter or Return on our keyboard. Next, we are going to next we are going to give it a size 5 stroke and disable fill. To disable fill, we're going to click on this checkbox right here, and our words disappear. Oh no, well, that's okay. We'll get it back when we click on the checkbox next to stroke, and we can click on this number 4 and change that to 5, and you'll see that this has made the outline of our words appear in white. Next, we are going to align the text to the bottom left and make the layer duration the same as the clip in the sequence. So in order to align this to the bottom left, we're going to use these align buttons right here. So this says align left, we'll click on that one. And this other one over here says align bottom, we'll click on that. And that has aligned our text to the bottom left of our screen. Lastly, we need to make the layer duration the same as the clip in the sequence. So to do this, we're just going to slide our text layer over until it's directly on top of the original video. And again, it's very helpful to zoom in. We'll put our mouse on the left-hand side of our sweet text layer until it turns red, and then drag this over to the left. We'll zoom out using minus and go to the end of our video clip. Just moving our playhead to the end of our video and just making sure that this is exactly lined up with our video clip. So that should be all set there. We're going to, fingers crossed, press the next button and then see if our answer is correct. However, right now we can't see our next button. To fix this, we'll go ahead and put our mouse on the left-hand edge of the GMetrix panel, slide this over to the left to make it a little bit bigger, and then we're going to go ahead and select Next. And that one is correct. An important thing with these GMetrix questions is going to be realizing that you need to take it one step at a time. To be frank, that was a lot of different steps to follow, even for me, and I'm a seasoned editor. So just make sure you slow down, read the question carefully, and try to see what it's really asking you to do in each separate step. We're going to go ahead and click on Next. For this step, we're going to create a new sequence with the street crossing 26.mp4 clip. But first, we need to go ahead and click on OK. You'll see this screen a lot. Rename the sequence close up and move it out of the footage bin and back into the project. So first we need to create a new sequence using an existing video clip. To do this, we're going to first need to find the video clip. We'll double click on this footage bin right here using the left side of our trackpad to open it. And you'll see that we have a few different video clips in here. Street crossing 28, 27, and 26. So the one that we are looking for is 26. If your screen looks different than mine, if yours looks like this, we can change this pretty easily by clicking on this icon right here. Or if yours looks like this and you need to change it to the other format, we can click on this icon right here. But for now, I'm going to go back to this other view, and we're going to find the street crossing 26. To create a new sequence from this clip, we're just going to click and drag it onto the sticky note located right here and let go. This will automatically create a new sequence and place it in the same bin with all of our footage. We're told to rename this sequence to close-up and move it out of the footage bin and back into the project. To do this, we're going to first need to rename this by clicking on street crossing 26. It's very important that we look for this icon right here that tells us this is a sequence. So this blue square in the bottom right with a few other blue rectangles in it. We're going to go ahead and click twice on the name here to highlight it, and we're going to type in close-up. Again, be very, 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 very careful of your spelling and capitalization. Next, we need to move this into the next panel up. There's a lot of different ways of doing this, but the way that I would approach this myself is click on your close-up sequence and then hold Control and press X in order to cut that sequence. We're going to go up in our project by hitting this up arrow right here, click on our bin in the empty space, and then press Control V to paste our close-up into here. So we're just cutting and pasting from one area of Premiere Pro into another in order to stay organized. Now that should be our final step here, so we'll go ahead and select Next. And that is correct. We're going to go ahead and click on Next, and again press OK. In this question, we have a fill in the blank. So this is going to be a bunch of different vocabulary terms. A blank is a work based on or derived from one or more already existing works. Work for hire is a work created by a contractor for a blank used by the employer. So instead of reading all of these, we'll kind of take this one at a time. Let's see what our options are for the first one here. So we're looking at either a derivative work or a original work for this question. So a work based on or derived from one or more already existing works. Well, we have a key word here, derive. So that's probably a very good indicator that we're looking at a derivative work. Next, work for hire. Work for hire is a work created by a contractor for unlimited or limited use by the employer. So this is going to be, I believe, unlimited. And if we're ever uncertain, this is a great time to use that help button. So we'll go ahead and select help just to make sure. Work for hire is a work created by a contractor for unlimited use by the employer. So that is exactly correct. Next, content created by a full-time employee for their employer is owned by the employer, not by the employee. And lastly, fair use states that you can use blank portions of a work for news reporting and academic purposes. So we'll go ahead and switch that answer over to unlimited portions of a work. And I find that very surprising. I might need to do a little bit more reading on that subject. We're going to go ahead and select next, and that should be correct here. Next, change the autosave settings to automatically save projects every 10 minutes. So once again, we're going to need to hit OK in order to open our project. And this is about using our project preferences. To get to our preferences, we'll go to File at the top, go down to, actually we'll go into Edit, sorry. This is, I believe, a little different between Mac and PC. We'll go to Edit here, go down to Preferences, and we're going to go to, let's go to General for now. That's always a safe bet for starting off. So we're going to look for the Autosave tab right here. It says automatically save projects every blank minutes. Right now it's set to 15. We're just going to go ahead and click on that and replace that with 10. Press OK, and we'll check our answer by hitting Next. And again, we are correct. Next, task 14, use all 3 clips in the footage bin to create a multi-camera source sequence. Name the sequence walking angles and use the out points to synchronize the clips. So again, we have several steps here that we'll have to walk through. First, we need to open our footage bin. We'll double click on footage, and we see the 3 different video clips that they are talking about. Next, use all 3 clips in the footage bin to create a multi-camera source sequence. So we need to make a sequence using all 3 of these clips together. We're going to click on our panel here and press Control A to select everything. And then we can right click on our clips here and do Create Multi-Camera Source Sequence. We're going to want to synchronize our clips by using our out points right here. And we're going to name our sequence to, or switch our sequence name to Custom, and we're just going to call it Walking Angles. And that should do everything we need, making sure we have synchronized by out points, and we're going to go ahead and select OK. And that has created our sequence here. We can double click on the sequence just to see what it looks like, and this will bring up the multi-camera editor inside of Premiere Pro. Now, interestingly enough, I've never created a multicam sequence that way, but that's kind of the interesting with GMetrix is it encourages you to experiment and try new things. There's a bunch of different successful ways of doing this and approaching this problem, but we just found a new one together. I'm going to go ahead and select Next, and fingers crossed, this should be all correct. And again, it is wonderful. Next up, task 15, add a marker at 3 seconds on the stars3.mp4 clip. Name the marker start credit and change the duration to 1 second. So first we need to find our stars3.mp4 clip. We'll click on our timeline, hit minus a couple times to zoom out, move our playhead to the end here, and zoom in using plus, and you can see that this is our stars3 clip. It tells us to add a marker at 3 seconds on the stars.mp4 clip. Easiest way to do this is to open up our stars clip in our source panel. Double click on our clip in order to open it, so 2 times really fast with the left side of our trackpad. And we're going to want to move our playhead to 3 seconds. Hopefully you'll remember that we can do this by clicking on the number here, typing in 3:00, and pressing enter. This will take us to 3 seconds on our clip, and we can add a clip marker by pressing M on our keyboard or by clicking this icon right here. And you'll see that that has added a marker onto our clip. Next, we need to name the marker. So we can do this by double-clicking on our marker in our source panel, and we can call this Start Credits. And again, we want to be very, very, very careful that our spelling and punctuation and capitalization matches up with theirs. We'll go ahead and change the duration here to 1 second by changing this number right here to 1 second, clicking off of it and pressing OK. Next, we'll check our answer with Next, and it should be correct. Fingers crossed. And we are correct. Moving on to our last one. Last but not least, task number 16, remove any gaps in the sequence without changing the length of any clip. We'll go to click on our timeline and zoom out using minus just to get a better idea of what they're talking about. So it says remove any gaps in the sequence without changing the length of any clip. Well, this is going to be pretty easy. We just need to move our last clip here. So click on our last video clip and grab it from the center. So holding down our left click, we're just going to slide it until it's touching our other video clip, let go, and then we'll check our answer with next. And we are correct. Very strange that they ended on this one. We'll go ahead and select next. And now it is again time for us to screenshot our progress so we can share that on Google Classroom. We'll go down to summary at the bottom and scroll down to question 9. So that number 9 is our first question, and we'll screenshot using Windows F10. Scroll down to question 13 through 16 and do Windows F10. And we'll just submit those screenshots on Google Classroom. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all back in class. Bye now.